Before you are a mother, a wife, a friend, a daughter, a sister, and everything else in between, you are your own. And I hope you start to make space for yourself more often.
Welcome to the Taking Up Space podcast, where we amplify the voices of individuals who unapologetically take up space. So, hi, I'm Jessica. This is episode 1 of Taking Up Space. A little bit about me. I am in my mid-20s. I think I already said, but my name is Jessica. I'm Nigerian, but I was born and raised in the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago to be specific. I'm a daughter of God, I'm Christian, and I share that I'm also Nigerian, but born in the Caribbean for a specific reason. We will get into more detail about that in the next few episodes. But in Trinidad and Tobago, our anthem, as a child in primary school, we sing our national anthem every day in assembly. And the last few lines of the anthem is, "Let every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation." And that resonated a lot with me as a child and was really etched in my brain because, we say it every day. But it resonated with me because it's in my DNA that every person on this earth has space, has the right to have an equal place in the world. And it's very important for me to share that with others as well, that you can take up space. So whether it's wearing that cute outfit, whether it's wearing that nice perfume, taking that trip, building the business, do it. Show up for yourself. So one other thing that spurred this podcast for me was a comment that a colleague said to me at work. And he said, "Jessica, take up space." And since he said that to me, that really was it kept coming back to me that I need to take up space. And I felt like I needed to speak up more. And God just downloaded this podcast into my brain, like that I needed to do that. I needed to show up more. So yeah, here we are filming episode 1 of Taking Up Space. So what does it mean to take up space? To me, taking up space means to be the most authentic you. It means in any given circumstance, you have to just be yourself. Obviously, you might need to alter who you are in different dynamics, but your core beliefs and values stay the same. It also means doing your best and being passionate about what you do. It means being in your own lane. So whether it's entertainment like Issa Rae and Viola Davis, in beauty like Pat McGrath or Danessa Myricks, and even in the corporate space like Ursula Burns and Morgan DeBon. I hope I'm not butchering her surname. But understanding that your presence and your contribution to the world matters. I find that is something that when you have your head down, you don't realize that everything that you're doing is taking your community, taking yourself forward, and you're representing something that will outlast you. So this podcast will be a space, or this podcast is a space for individuals who are tired of being told to shrink, to quiet down, to be less than. Here we stand confidently, we speak up, and we claim our power to have an impact in our own lives and communities, to have fulfillment. I think that's very, very important. I have a background in HR, and there's the Maslow hierarchy of needs, and fulfillment is part of that. A sense of belonging is essential to have a purpose, and the only way to find your true purpose is to show up as the real you in every aspect. So, what is representation? We always hear representation, we hear diversity, inclusion, equity, all of these buzzwords. But what does it really mean? So, representation, visibility, and empowerment is important to oneself, to encourage healthy self worth, to encourage validation of your opinions and your experiences. It impacts how people perceive you and how people perceive the world around them. It influences how people think about their capabilities, what's possible for them, and seeing people like you succeeding in life and succeeding in what they do is very important for just your belief system, how you believe in yourself. Creating a sense of belonging eradicates the feelings of feeling excluded and marginalized. So representation is key. And obviously I can only speak from my own experience as a Black woman, who is, forging her path. And that's not without any lessons. And there's several systematic and social challenges that I have faced as a Black woman, just trying to show up as my authentic self, which I find quite crazy. But, we're making progress in life. Black women continue to face, whether it's racism, sexism, violence, surveillance, exclusion in every industry, every form of life, every capacity. I realized through the death of a loved one, the power of showing up for yourself. Because like I said in the intro, like previously, you only get one shot at life. You only get one take. And when that curtain calls, the show's over. So you don't want to have regrets that you didn't show up for yourself. Today's topic will be about taking up space. So I'm going to share a bit about myself on my journey of how I've been taking up space in my life and being the driver of my life. Obviously, as a Christian, God is the driver of your life. I'm more of a passenger, but there is a scripture that says faith without works is dead. So knowing that in this life where you only get one chance, how am I showing up as the best Jessica? So during university, not even junior university, actually, this started when I was quite young. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit from a child. I used to actually sell goods in school. And from there, it grew into finding my hands to support, whether it's in business, selling lashes. Most people know me best in my community for being a hairdresser. And that also was spurred from a need and wanting to beautify women at an affordable price. My tagline was AJ's Crown UK for your affordable slay, because I believe that everybody should slay and it didn't matter how much you had in your pocket. So that was very close to my heart, but also in my personal development from going to university, I learned that if you want to be destined for greatness, you had to invest in yourself. So I started with my journey in therapy. I then started doing things by trying new skills. So one of the first things I did was sit down and write a whole list of experiences that I've never done before that I would really like to do in this lifetime. So one of the ones that I've done recently, last year, is go in a hot air balloon. Though I haven't done it in Cappadocia, which is where I really want to do it, I did it in Dubai, which was really nice. And it was very fulfilling to be able to have that vision for myself and then also tick it off the list. I'm a bit type A, so I love ticking off things on my to-do list. Um, Another way that I've started showing up for myself and taking up more space is I love perfumes and I like to share that with people around me. So back in my home country, I was able to launch a perfume business and share lovely smells because everybody should smell good, especially in the summer, guys. Okay, in the summer, please, if the temperature is hot, please make sure you smell good. So I have tried my hand at many things, and there is no rules to this life. So make sure you're trying things like I have. I do suggest just sitting down and writing a list and creating a vision of the woman, the man, the young lady, the young man that you want to be and show up in this life, in this world, and start doing things that will encourage you to become more like that. So another thing that I did last year was at 26, I passed my driving test. Woo! And that was something that was a skill that, though I didn't necessarily need it, there wasn't a need for it. I told myself at 19, I'm going to do it. And year after year, things happened in life. But one thing is, I always reflected on that vision that I created for myself. And I said, okay, is it feasible this year? And can I do it? Can I afford it this year? And that's basically how I've done everything year after year, and I've gotten better at it. My aunt actually, she suggested something called the year compass. That has been really, really great. And I think Candice Brathwaite, she actually does it as well, where you sit and you just reflect on your achievements for the year, things that you could have done better, and self-reflection, as well as sending yourself a future me letter. I love doing that. I really do look forward to doing that every year because it shows me how I took up space in that year and how I would like to take up space in the following year. So it's lovely. I do it on my birthdays and I do it at the end of every year. So that's in a few ways I have been able to develop myself in taking up more space in my life, in my community, and also for your loved ones. The better you are at taking up space, the more confident, the more empowered you show up and happy you show up towards others. So yeah. So in this podcast, I'll speak about a variety of topics, whether it's confidence, identity. We're going to be speaking about health, mental health. We'll also speak about preparing for the future and so much more. With the addition of some special guest speakers, we'll share real stories and actionable tips for you to take away. So if this resonated with you and you would like to join this community, because it's not just a podcast, I want to hear from you. Every episode, I'm going to share one thing I'm grateful for, and I would like you to comment down below one thing you would like to also share that you're grateful for as well. So this week, I am grateful for Haven Talks Studios. I'm grateful for having the ability to have the space to record this podcast today and to make my vision be executed. So if you would like to follow me on social media, you can. My handle is JXAde, so JAIXADE. And make sure you subscribe, like, share. And in the next episode, we're going to be diving into all things identity. So make sure to tune in. And last but not least, you are loved, you are valued, you have a purpose in this world. So take up space. Thank you.